to order. That's where, and Christina's here. Hi, Christina. And as no members of the public are here, we have no public comment. So our first order of business is we have 2 sets of minutes. Let's do the October first because they're short and sweet. And then we'll do the September. Did everybody get a chance to look through quickly the minutes?
I was
Alright.
not at the September meeting, so I'll refrain
I
from
was,
that,
oh,
right?
the September when we get there, okay. How about, you were,
I was there at the
you were at
October.
October, so is that a
Yep.
motion to accept the October minutes, Julie, that you're making?
I can certainly make that motion, yes.
Okay, I mean, I don't want, I'm not forcing you on it, I'm just wondering if you wanna do that.
I'll second. I mean, I wrote
I
them on
certainly-
second. It's there. What is this? One short paragraph.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
okay, all in favor, any opposition? Okay, the October minutes are accepted as written. The September minutes are a little lengthier. September 11th. I didn't see anything that I thought needed to be changed. Anybody see anything that looked a little off or needed to be revised?
No, I make a motion to accept the September minutes as written.
I'll second that.
Jim seconds. Okay, all in favor? Yes.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Raise your hand. No opposition. The September 11th minutes are in the record and accepted. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Karen, I know you sent something this morning or earlier today to us. I have lost it in my email, so I'm gonna rely on other people.
Yesterday, I sent the reports for September, October, and I sent
Yeah,
the
I don't know what
H1.
happened. I just don't know what happened. I can't. So anyway, but those of you that have looked at it,
Susan, do you want me to forward it to you? So it's at the
Yeah,
top
would
of your
you?
inbox? Yep.
yeah, I would appreciate that. I saw it and then it was just gone. It's gone. I mean, I know how to search it.
Darn email.
Susan.jepson1@gmail.
Got it. Yep.
Okay,
There you go. Coming to an inbox near you.
thank you, thank you, Julie. It'll come.
So for the reports, there are 2 separate ones primarily, so you could see the different budget amounts. The programming we compile all together at the bottom, but no concerns with the budget. Anticipate spending more money in the second half of the year because that's when we're going to be setting up some of the new offices and things like that upstairs. So we'll be utilizing more of the office budget. So I've been being very frugal to make sure that we have the ability to set those things up. And I'm going to be in the process of looking at the fiscal year 26 budget starting in the next month. And we're looking to level fund and probably gonna have to shift some things around. For example, our vehicle budget tire line, for example, is $350 and we can't even buy one tire for $350. So just my goal is to still level fund, but to move some money around from areas that we don't spend as much into vehicle maintenance to make sure that we have those funds available should we need them for the 2 vehicles that we have. Otherwise, everything is on track with budgets. If there's any questions?
I have a question about what you're talking about right now. How much freedom do you have as director to shift funds? Do you have to go to town council every time or to your boss, or how does that play in? How does that play?
No, so this would be planning for fiscal year 26. So when I put my proposed budget in, if say I wanted to move $500 from supplies over to tires, then I would just put that in the budget that would go to town council. So I try and do it the year ahead so they don't have to do that once the budget is finalized. If we did have a shortage in one area, for example, if I needed new tires this year, then you just work with the accounting office to do that.
Just switch around. And what about for the construction upstairs? Was there money budgeted this year? Or is there money for furnishings and things of that nature?
That was no, it was ARPA funding that's finishing the upstairs. So
It's
there wasn't
there,
anything in
okay.
my budget. That all came out long after the budget was done.
And that includes,
Thankfully, there's some furniture that the town has it's not being utilized, so we're gonna be able to use, we should be able to mostly furnish upstairs without having to purchase anything. Potentially purchase like a couch, like an antimicrobial kind of couch for one of the rooms, but otherwise we should be in okay shape. We had extra tables upstairs to set up the cards and activities room. And we've managed to find some tables to put together for the classroom.
I had the good fortune to go to the volunteer lunch today, and the ladies at my table were talking about the upstairs, and they have a whole movie lounge, a whole media room, Karen, with all kinds of nice furniture coming. Not just a couch. There's going to be some easy chairs. I don't know if they were sort of making it up or wishful thinking, but they wouldn't have to sit on the chairs downstairs. They were happy about it to watch movies.
No,
So, because there's going to be comfy spots. They were very
I don't know who
excited.
they're talking to because that's actually not in the plans. So I'll have
No,
to
I
not with
didn't say,
your friends.
I didn't say anything. I just said, oh, it's going to be great. They were all very excited about having space up there.
It is going to be great. We don't have a media plan slotted, but we can try and find more comfortable chairs for them to watch the movies. But
yeah.
it is good to hear what they're all talking about. Everybody's excited about it. So they're working on the ceiling and the floors right now. So hopefully, I'm hoping to be in there by February.
That's great.
It's exciting to
Cautiously
hear about
optimistic,
the
shall we
town
say.
using resources we already had to fill the upstairs. So nice work on that, Karen.
Thank you.
All right, so can we have a motion? Does anyone want to make a motion to accept the September financial report as presented?
Can I just ask a quick question? I'm sorry.
Of course.
This is with regard to the participants. Do you happen to know on that, like October, there were 1,354 total participants? Are those unique participants or are those
No,
the same
no,
people?
there'll be some duplication in there.
Do you have just a general sense of how many people use the center each month? Unique people?
Well, that's how, oh, you mean individual people? We report that at the end of the year. We don't really track that
Okay,
monthly.
okay.
I mean, I could try and
Okay.
look into it if it's something
No,
that's
no, no,
important to you.
not
It's not
critical,
something that we really look at.
Just wondering if it was, of that 1,354, if there's 500 people or 200 or whatever, but it's not, please don't spend any effort to track that down.
It's a curiosity question.
Go. Yep. Go ahead. Do you have another one, Jim, or were you asking?
No, I just said that sounded like a curiosity.
Oh, a curiosity question, yeah.
Estimate.
We do talk about that and we look at it end of at the end of the month, or at the end of the year. It's harder data to pull. I could try and see if we could find a way to pull it easier. Right now, it's just not one that we
Yeah.
typically looked at, but we could start to. I just have to figure it out.
Yeah, no issue. Jim, you're exactly right. It was a curiosity question, not critical for any planning or anything.
So
And,
do
yeah,
you want a motion to
Yeah,
accept the
the
September financial report?
financial, yep. Are you making?
I'll make a
sure?
motion.
Okay, I'll second it. All in favor? Aye or yes, or raise your hand. Okay, any opposition? Everybody good? All right, thank you. All right, so the October financial, I'm gonna like to do the two financials and then two programs. Makes more sense to me, so I hope that's okay with all you. The October financial. Any questions, comments, concerns? Karen, anything that we should be aware of?
No, nothing really. I just have to do them separately so you can see each number, but there
Yeah.
haven't been no unexpected expenses. And we did have to take the flex in for a little bit of work, but we have still money in the budget for that. I can't remember what it was now that we had to have done on it, but it wasn't anything major.
Okay,
I'll do a motion to approve.
Julie makes motion to approve, second, any second?
I'll
Second.
second.
All right, Jim is seconded, all in favor? Aye.
I,
Aye.
All right, October report is accepted. Now we'll go to the program, the September program report. I'm reading them on my phone, which is a little tiny eyes. Okay.
And the biggest thing I think to note is the lunch program has been growing on both of the participation
Yeah.
reports, which has been nice. Thursdays, we have quite a few people, 20 plus on a lot of Thursdays. People come before bingo and then stay for bingo. And Mondays have actually grown. We have a nice group of people who come. We typically have 10 to 12 people who come on Monday. So it's been nice to see people coming back for that program. And with that program, I think has also helped really grow the food pantry. Our food pantry gets restocked every single week. It's almost
People
completely
bring stuff in.
empty by the time it's done. So people are absolutely utilizing the mini food pantry that we have, which I chatted with Maureen today from the pantry, and we're both really happy about that. I think it's being utilized appropriately, and I think that it's been a nice resource for people.
That's great. Yeah, the ladies at my table were also looking forward to turkey tomorrow. Apparently there's turkey coming tomorrow. Turkey lunch. Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, it's Mystic Valley's
Yeah, okay. They were.
Thanksgiving meal tomorrow, and
Yeah.
I'm laughing that you're saying that because when I looked at the numbers, I'm like, wow, we have 26 ordered. How many people are coming? So it drew in some new people to come and have their Thanksgiving dinner here. And they do a nice job, so it'll be good. And we have a wonderful volunteer who comes on Thursdays to help serve the food, so it gets the food out faster, so that the Mystic Valley, our Mystic Valley site coordinator can plate the food while he's serving it. So it makes a nice,
Oh,
a nice
good,
lunch for
good.
people. Not too long of a wait.
Okay, now, you said the lunches are up, but October, I mean, there were more people in August than in September. Is that because of the number of Mondays and Thursdays, I wonder?
It can really be for the meals themselves, you mean, or for the total number?
For lunch, yeah, on the two,
No, I mean, it can truly vary. It depends on
yeah, but people are coming.
who's coming to bingo, who's not coming to bingo. Depends if
Yeah, so.
I mean, it's growing because I think more people have started to say, "Oh, the food's good. Why don't you come?" Sometimes
Yeah,
it depends on what they're having. If they have anything that's too non-traditional, shall we say, it's not as well attended.
Well,
So
you
I
can see,
think that's just
it's good. No, it's good. I mean, you can see the difference in total programs attended from August, and then it jumps in September, which is fairly typical, right? For back to school, back to whatever, people come back from summer vacation or come back from whatever they come back from, so.
yeah, and we've been having a lot of educational programs, so that can bring up your numbers. For example, we did the funeral planning workshop, and we had 72 people we had to relocate because
Wow.
of space. So not because we didn't have the space, but because we had a plan when an exercise class was going on, so we didn't have the parking. So it could be something like that. You have one really popular educational program, and then it bumps your numbers up by 100. We never expected it was going to have that much turnout, and we moved so that we wouldn't have to turn people away.
Very good. Okay, did we vote on this? So would anyone like to make a motion, we accept the September program participation report?
Sure,
We usually
I'm,
don't vote on this.
oh,
We
we don't
don't?
vote on it.
No.
Oh, my brain, I'm sorry. You think I'd have this by now? We don't. We just read it and talk about it and then we move on. Is that?
Hmm.
I'm sorry. Okay, let's look at October.
So the same, really. It just varies depending on what. I don't have my October newsletter up, and I can't remember all the stuff that we did in October. But we've had lots of educational. We really did a big focus in October on open enrollment. So we had Blue Cross
Yeah.
Blue Shield in 3 different times. We did an evening program. We did 2 daytime programs. So we try and make sure that everybody's aware of what options are to get them in the door to see a shine counselor or to help them schedule an appointment with the shine counselor. So we've been focused on that now. Open enrollment going out. So we're planning our educational programming for the next few months.
Excellent. Yeah, the lunch numbers.
I could
just
go over
look-
more already what we have going on. Does everybody get the newsletter? Do you subscribe so that you get the email or get it directly from LPI?
Yes.
That's the best way if you subscribe. We put the instructions on how to subscribe right from LPI because you actually get it first. The second I hit submit to LPI, and they prepare it for printing. It actually goes out to everybody who's subscribed. So our biggest things coming up is the holiday party, which is on December 4th. We're doing really the same thing as last year. We're having the same DJ come in. We are having the same catered meal. The Palms class, the Palmtastic squad is going to perform for us. So we're pretty excited about that. I think we have 50 something people signed up right now, and we cap that at 75 for safety and space for people to get around. So we're hoping that we fill to capacity again for that. We're usually in pretty good shape for that. We don't always need a lot of extra help because the caterers plate for us, and then we go in teams of 2 and we serve. And we can't have too many more people than that serving, or else we overwhelm the caterers who are plating the meals. So we should
What
be in
about
good
like
shape for
signing in at the door or anything? Do you need people to sign people in?
And we could potentially, if anybody wants to help, have somebody sitting upstairs to answer the phone when we're all serving. We like to serve so that we can see everybody.
Yeah.
So that's one of
yeah.
the bonuses of coming, the 4 of us who are permanent staff, going downstairs to actually do the serving so that we can interact with everybody and see them. It's a fun day. But we typically don't have a lot of rides other than people coming to the center, so we can manage if we don't have somebody upstairs, because we have the phone downstairs so we can hear if it was a transportation kind of an issue. We've had a Wakefield high school student who volunteers this time to come in and do tech help here in the center. It's just starting to grow. Last month we had 2 people had signed up, and they both unfortunately no-showed. But one person wasn't feeling well and the other person had just forgotten. So we've rescheduled them. But he actually thought of it on his own. He and his mom came into the center, and he had this idea of what he wanted to do. He had a PowerPoint presentation put together. So he's been a great addition to the team, and he's willing, and he doesn't give up. If he doesn't have anybody come, he doesn't get discouraged. He still plans it out on the schedule to come the next month. So that's been a nice addition.
What kind of
We're in the
things
middle of
is
a
he-
clothing drive.
Wait a minute, I think
keep
there was a
getting tons
question,
of clothes.
Karen. I think there was a question about that.
sorry.
You had a question?
Well, my question was, what sort of things is the high school student doing?
He can help with your phone, your tablet, your computer. Like if you have trouble connecting to, oh, I don't know how to do this. So just basic, like we kind of joke around that it's like rent a grandkid. So things that you might say, oh, I don't know how to do this on my phone. Can you help me? So things like that.
I see.
Maureen is coming to visit us later in November on the 20th to do a public housing info session. So we're hoping to have a good turnout for that. Let me see. We have our cooking class. We have the clothing drive going on. We just had an eating well for a healthy brain. That was well attended. So basically, the one thing we're looking at right now, a couple of different things. Jason Stone is moved on to Medford. So we're taking on right now at the senior center, the fuel assistance portion while he's gone. We have Leo that's still here twice a month. So the woman from Leo is amazing. So Leo's pretty easy. We can direct them to when to come. We'll be taking on the Good Neighbor applications, Beth and I, here at the senior center. So that will be people of all ages.
What kind of
just to fill the gap.
application? I didn't hear what kind of application.
The Good Neighbor application.
Which is for fuel assistance, right, also?
Yeah, that's fuel assistance. So that captures people who are above the income limit for
Yeah, okay.
Leo. But still, there's a window that you have. There's a minimum and a maximum for that, not just a maximum. So we can do those applications. It's through the Salvation Army. So Beth and I have done the applications in the past. We'll just take over the applications that Jason used to do when he was at the pantry. And I'm sure we all talked about this before, but the Wakefield program did go away. So as people are coming in to apply, I'm getting to share that news with them. But unfortunately, there's not the additional supplement from the Wakefield ARPA funds this year.
Are people
So that's
coming?
going to keep us busy. I'm sorry, go
people-
ahead, Susan.
No, are people coming in looking for the fairly new rental assistance fund, or maybe Maureen can talk about that. I don't know if it's, there's a
I think we have that on the agenda for later in the meeting.
Okay. All right, that's the affordable housing. Okay. Keep
So
going.
we're working on the snow angels right now. We have the call for people who want snow angels to call the senior center. Last I checked in with the youth council's advisor, we only had 4 students who had volunteered. So they're actively trying to recruit more students. we put a deadline to sign up November 15th so that we could see how many seniors we have, try and recruit as many students as we can so that we can match hopefully all of them. But when people have signed up, we have said it is dependent upon how many students we get in the neighborhoods they live in, who we can match.
Yeah.
So we are going to let people know by the end of the month if they're matched with the Snow Angel or not.
How many
So hopefully
students,
the students are successful recruiting some more people.
how many were there last winter? Do you remember?
Well, last winter was tricky because we took a lot of people. We had 38 people, but it was a constant challenge to match people. Like I went out and did driveways. We had all different kinds of people going out and doing driveways as a last minute scramble. We had people calling to sign up for Snow Angels in February. That's why we put it out. Like, no, if you want a Snow Angel, we need to know by November 15th so that we can match people and be able to move past it. It was a lot of like
So 38
people
people
calling
that
friends and
wanted
stuff like that to
shoveling,
try and match.
or 38 students? How many students were available if you were out shoveling
I
driveways?
can't give you a hard number because there wasn't a set number. It was
Okay,
Catherine
just
was
wondered,
frequently
yeah,
calling
wondered.
friends of friends of friends to do this.
Yeah,
So there was a
yeah.
lot of last scrambling around.
I have a question.
Sure,
Mhm.
yeah.
Is there any program for helping people with their leaves?
Not right now, no.
Okay, just curious. I mean, I have young neighbors who are overwhelmed, so, and I'm actually bagging most of their leaves because they all blow over to my house, and they're overwhelmed. So I was just wondering if that's anything that might be considered.
I think it would be if we can see how successful we can be with Snow Angels. With only 4 students right now for Snow Angels, I think we can get that established. We have had a lot of turnover at the health department. So a new youth council coordinator, youth action team coordinator. So once they all get settled, maybe we can think about trying to implement a program in the fall. They're fairly labor intensive to manage matching seniors with the students. So it really all depends on if we're able to find enough, if they're able to recruit enough student volunteers. And it can be challenging. Maybe it'll be easier in the fall than it would be in the winter. That's actually that was something that is part of, if you get a chance to read it, the age-friendly plan that we did talk about that. So that was one that I planned on continuing in the progress report, saying we haven't met this one yet, but we may keep it as a goal
Do you
for the
think
next
you
3-year cycle.
would you say that you needed help recruiting? I mean, I don't understand the mechanisms around the youth council you just mentioned, but I assume that that was kind of our main piggyback for getting young folks signed up. I mean, I have my cousin's a chemistry teacher at the high school. Do you want me to put it out to his class to try to get volunteers, or?
Yeah, so typically the youth council are the ones who have been in charge of trying to recruit the students. And this year, we added to the mix. We're doing liability waivers for both the seniors and the students to sign before entering the program, because we always frequently talked about what if somebody falls when they're shoveling somebody's driveway, or they don't put sand and salt down. What if something happens to a senior who's walking out after it's been shoveling? So we felt better about protecting the senior and the students by having the waiver in place. So
Did you
we
have
typically,
legal
as
counsel
council on
review
aging,
that?
haven't been in charge of recruiting the
Okay.
students, because the action team and the council have had direct access to the students. So I'm not sure what they've done for advertising yet. I'm sitting down with Liz Parsons next week to see where we are. So I potentially could reach out to see if we don't have any more. I'm hoping that the students have been a bit more successful than last week when we were at 4, but they were going to do a hard push this week. And I'm not sure what that means in the student world.
Okay.
Seems
well,
like
I
it
don't know
might
if
maybe
be
signs
it's-
up at the school.
It might be a good idea for faculty to know, though. So, Julie, if your cousin knew and could direct students to the youth council, perhaps. I mean, not actively recruiting, but being aware of.
Yeah, if
This-
there's any kind of flyer that's been generated already that you want to email me or any of us, then we could see. Because it's such a great program. I mean, gosh, if we could make leaf angels, that would be like level 2 for Sherry, right? Getting the leaves picked up. But hopefully with Thanksgiving around the corner, maybe people are in the giving mood and they're gonna sign up to be volunteers this week.
Can I jump in about the leaves? Didn't like the band at the high school, didn't those kids used to do like a raking? Like a donation to the band and they raked some leaves? Maybe they don't do that anymore. I feel like they did that when my kids were in high school, but
They're busy winning championships right now.
they
huh?
are. Well, they've always been. So
Oh.
I think that's pretty normal for them, but I want to say they did leaves. I don't know. I haven't seen it in the newspaper though.
So it's a fundraiser for the band.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like they
yeah.
used to do something like that.
Yeah, hmm.
Even the snow angels, it might be, I don't know if like the ice hockey teams, the girls and boys would, do they have to do volunteer hours? Sometimes you can get the sports teams to do it. I don't know how the coaches feel about that, but I know when I worked in North Reading, the baseball team helped us rake leaves one year.
And-
And it was the coach, organized it and they all showed up one day and raked leaves all day. So
And since leaves are a lot less dangerous than the snow and ice,
yeah.
even the junior high school kids could potentially be involved.
Yep.
Well,
And
the snow
maybe
angels
less
are 13 and up.
liability.
So snow angel recruiting is 13 and up.
Oh, no, I'm talking about if leaves, yeah.
Well, that may be a good, I don't know if he's made an appearance, Karen, at all at the center, but our liaison, whoever our liaison is, our council person, who said he was aware of us and cared about us, but he was gonna direct his energy to some other things. If there may be maybe at the town level, coordinating with the school department for some of these things to click. I mean, it shouldn't be on the senior center to get them all going. Just a thought to make him aware. You're on mute if you're on mute, Karen.
Karen, you're muted. Oh,
Can't hear you. I don't think she can hear. Something's going on there. There you go.
I feel like we already have that avenue, and it's the youth action team and the youth council who are doing that. So I appreciate all these ideas, and I will share them with the youth action team and the youth council. But it has been theirs in the past to do that recruiting. So I want to
Okay.
continue. I would prefer to continue to go down that path with the students that we already have who are in the schools and are actively working on this. But I will absolutely reach out and share the ideas that you all have shared with their leads, with their person in charge, Liz Parsons.
Thank you. Okay. Any more on your report that you want to tell us or share with us or ask us?
No, the upstairs is going well. Like I shared a little earlier, they're working on the ceilings and the floors now. So have a solid date of when we think we'll be in. My best guesstimate is that we'd be in February, which would be nice. I sent out in the email that my hope is to have we'll have a soft opening when we actually are allowed in the space, but I would like to have a grand opening once the space is open that we can have one during the day for the seniors, and then also have one in the evening that we can invite all of the public to come in and see the new space. So that's something I'll reach out for everybody to hope that you're able to come and help during the open house. But that's the next big thing. And we're putting our target for maybe early March to do it ahead of the St. Patrick's party if we're in the space in that time. So if it looks like we should be in by February, we'll do our advertising and our marketing for a March open house.
Nice. That's exciting.
The big thing, and I don't have the agenda in front of me. I don't know if it was I think is the age-friendly plan a second agenda item?
Yeah, no, that's a little bit, we're gonna have the housing stuff first and then the age-friendly, because the housing
Okay, then that's all I have.
might feed into some of there may be some things that either Maureen or Carol have to say that tie into the age-friendly. So that being said, let's move on then to the housing production group, which is Carol's our representative.
Yes.
And
So the Housing Production Plan Advisory Committee, or whatever the formal name is really just that. It's really an advisory committee. It's not a very action-oriented group. So the development of the housing production plan, excuse me, is driven really more by the consultants. There's a 2 or 3 consultants that are leading the charge. You know, they sent out a draft of the survey and we made comments, which they were lovely about incorporating. But we had a meeting in, what month is this? Maybe in early October, and I don't think we're meeting again until January. So a lot goes on, you know, I'm sure everyone in this group has been on committees where it's like that, where you are on it because the charge is that the community be involved. And it's fine, people are trying to be involved. So the main focus right now is getting the housing production plan community needs survey out. So it was just released with a little bit of controversy on the 8th, and it will be open until the 16th. So the little controversy is that somebody posted it on the town Facebook page or something without formal approval, so those of us on the group all got a request from Samantha Elliott, who's the town planner, to please not post anything on behalf of the town. Yes, Susan.
You know, I went back today to look at what the consultant had said, the cover letter to the survey. And the consultant said, please share it with your Facebook groups,
Right.
with your neighbors, with your friends, so it was a little disconcerting actually to see that.
Right. I didn't see the wording of how it was posted, but it may have implied that the posting was from the town. That's sort of the best that I could get, but
It
in any
wasn't from the
event,
town, it was from a person posted on the Wakefield Community Facebook page. I saw the posting.
right,
Now, whoever posted it did not do a very good job of explaining what it was,
right.
and had the link there, but still, it was posted, just to the Wakefield community group. Anyway, I'll be quiet.
No, please. It's challenging because there've been so many housing surveys, and when I read the age-friendly action plan, you know, everything under the housing section was what one would anticipate will come out of the survey, right? And a lot of the same words are used. But in advance, I know there was a question about would there be hard copies? So I've emailed Samantha Elliott, I haven't heard back from her yet, about whether there will be hard copies and also whether it can be posted in the Council on Aging newsletter, you know, to just make sure that we stay ahead of the curve, so to speak. So as soon as I hear back, I'll let you know. I know they were, you know, looking for people to distribute it far and wide. I think having hard copies is a great idea, but I don't know if they have a mechanism for how they would scan them and record them. I'm assuming they're doing everything
The
electronically.
cover letter from the consultant says that Sam has hard copies and reach out.
Oh, it does. Okay, perfect. I missed that.
And
Thank you.
Maureen and I were talking about a little bit today, just the timing, it's such a narrow window, 8th to the 16th.
The
Like,
16th of December.
oh,
Oh,
December,
the
okay.
16th of December. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I thought
November.
it was the 16th of November and
No,
I
no,
was
no,
worried.
no. I mean, it's still a short window with all that's going on.
Okay.
But, you know, I think it's really important for our group and for seniors to be represented. You know, they have included sections on seniors if anyone's taken it. I certainly lobbied hard to make sure we had language in and that it was written in a way that people would understand it. It was written, I didn't understand it, not that, you know, I set the bar somewhere, but it was written in way too technical language, so they did a really nice job in making it more accessible. So I think how we explain it is tricky. I wish I could be succinct about it because there's so many surveys, and this is really an endeavor by the town, part of sort of a state requirement that we have a clear plan into the future and that the community's input is really needed and valued. So-
Sherry, and then I think Jim have comments or questions, but Sherry was first.
I'm a little confused about this issue of distribution because the easiest way to distribute within the town is to go through Jen McDonald's office at Town Hall. She has thousands of email addresses and it would go out widely all over the town. And that's
Right.
usually how things like that happen.
And it may be going out that way. There was a lot of discussion at the last meeting about how it would be distributed and what people said, just what you did, Sherry, about an email list from the town, and that would be the easiest way for it to go. I haven't seen anything come through my email, and I'm sort of on every town thing that you can sign up for. Has anyone else seen it?
Yeah, the
No,
library also is like, they
Right,
might have people on their list that are not on the town list.
Right, they talked about the library, they talked about the town list, there were several lists, and that's really in the consultant's hands. They're the ones who are responsible. There was a lot of discussion about what percentage of the town did we hope to get back as survey respondents. So, it's going to be written regardless. I would be, I don't know, I haven't lived here that long, 15 years or so, but I'm gonna guess that the results are what we would all anticipate. Affordability, accessibility, aging in place, different kinds of housing stock, because it's, there it is. So, but we'll see. So.
Jim, did you have a question, Jim, or were
A
you?
quick question, Carol.
Sure.
Forgive me for not knowing this, but I'm not sure what that means, what housing production means.
Right, so housing production is really what kind of housing the town is going to produce and focus on over the next 5 years. What is the general goal? Are they going to look to build, housing, for example, near mass transportation? Some of this is tied into, the connection with transportation. Are
Yeah.
they going to focus on, age-friendly, kind of building? So that's what housing production means. It's not a very easy term, it's not one that we're used to.
This is-
It's kind of a redundant, I think, just like the housing plan. The word production, to me, I'm with you, it kind of threw me, and I asked the same question of the group.
The idea being this is, what's the town's role in promoting housing?
Well, and it's really more about what do the citizens of the town want? What do
Mm.
they identify as the needs? And then it's used to give to the town government and officials as like an advisory or as a guide
I see.
to help guide them as they go forward. So it doesn't have any standing in terms of somebody's going to look at it 2 years from now and say, oh, you said you were going to focus on this and nobody did. It's not that kind of, it doesn't have that heft to it.
It
Well,
does have to
it
be
ha-
approved by the state though, right?
It does have to be approved
By
by the state.
EOHLC. And what
Exactly.
my understanding too was that we could have been eligible for a 40B like rest period. I don't know what the right term is, if we had a housing production plan that was
Current.
current. And so we
Right.
let it expire, the town let it expire, so that disqualified us for that little like break period. Sometimes towns and cities can get a break while they look at their utilities and schools and but so it's important that the town get this production plan, I think, back in,
Back in play. And
yeah,
I
and it's
think they
gonna
were
take time.
looking at a waiver to try to get around that they missed it, but I think the last one was done in
2020.
2020. I thought it was even farther back than that. I
Well,
thought
I think it expired in 2020.
Oh,
so
it
you're
expired,
right,
yeah, but
Karen,
it was
yeah.
written like in 15 or something,
Yep,
so.
that makes,
What I think one of the more interesting things that'll come out of it is anything different? Have we made any progress between, 2020 or 2015 and 2024 or 25? Or are the answers all the same? That I hope will be something that will help spur people forward, but.
Well, I think the 40A business is, I mean, whether that's progress or not, I don't know, but there's certainly lots of conversation about housing for lots of reasons, but the transportation, zoning that really has opened up a lot of verbiage in town about what people want, what they don't want. Karen,
Carol, if you're okay, I'd like to email Sam to see if she can send me hopefully a QR code for the survey and then check in with her about the hard copy stuff here at the center. The downfall of timing for this is the December newsletter's not mailed out. So we don't
Excuse me, I
reach
didn't
nearly
hear you.
as
When
many
does it
people,
go
but maybe
out?
they'll put it in the newspaper.
When does
It
the
doesn't get
December-
mailed out December, so it doesn't reach as many people. We only mail out 6 times a month and 6 times a year, and we just mailed out November.
And the
uh-huh,
last
So
one.
that's the only bad thing with the timing of the survey. It won't be in our newsletter that gets mailed out, but
okay.
we'll put the QR code in the December newsletter and we can have the hard copies here.
Okay.
And I'm sure that
Yeah.
Jen will mark it with the newspaper to get the information.
Well, there's
there
a
as
survey
well.
link too. There's a a survey link that might be
Yeah.
easier for some people. Yeah.
To type that one. If they have a QR code, it might be
I
easier.
think
So I'll
they,
ask her if
I
they have a
think they
QR code.
do. Yeah, I recall that being discussed, but I will follow up with Sam.
All right, I'm gonna move us along because I'm
Okay,
aware.
thanks. And if you're okay with that, I'm just gonna email her right now and ask her if she can send me the hard
Oh,
copies and
perfect. Yeah,
the info.
Good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Carol. That was
Welcome.
comprehensive, and thank you for serving on that committee on our behalf. Maureen's gonna talk about the Affordable Housing Group, which is another group in town doing something.
it's called Housing Trust. So can we
Housing
fix
Trust.
that on the agenda too? Because it's just called the Housing Trust.
It's not called affordable anything, it's just.
No, there's no word affordable in it.
Okay, Housing
It's,
Trust.
well, it's the Town of Wakefield Affordable Housing Trust, but on the town's website, it just says Housing Trust.
Okay,
So I'm not
understand.
sure how they want us to be recognized. However, I just want to, we did have a meeting. We didn't meet in November, but we are going to meet, I think, in December. But we did create that program that they're calling WRAP, WRAP, Wakefield Renters Assistance Program. And it's for people that are moving within the town of Wakefield or people that are moving to the town of Wakefield that need assistance with security deposits, maybe first and last month's rent, a security deposit for the Wakefield Gas and Light Department, or even possibly moving costs. And it is an income eligible, it's for low income. And Sam Elliott has the applications at Town Hall. And it's a great opportunity. We were going to utilize the ARPA funds that were transferred to the Housing Trust. And so it's like a one-time thing for folks. You can really only apply one time, and I think it's up to $5,000. And obviously the town will pay the landlord or the gas and light department or the movers directly. But it's a great opportunity. So I know us at the Housing Authority, I think we already have one person that's moving in that's been approved for some moving costs. And, we just put the link on our website as well to try and get the word out about this program. So
So
I
it's a
will-
grant, it's not a loan, right? It's a
it's
grant.
not a loan. No, it's not a
Grant.
loan. It's a grant. It's a
That's great.
one-time,
Yeah,
opportunity for assistance. Yeah, we didn't want to do like loan or how do you put a deposit down and then you get it back? Who gets it
Yeah,
back? So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of tricky. So hopefully we get some folks, that can utilize this money. Even the folks that we serve, especially, Section 8 tenants, for example, participants, moving is difficult because of all those costs.
yeah, absolutely.
It could cost $5,000 just to even move into a new apartment. Even if someone were issuing a new voucher to someone, it's still, you have to come up with $4,000 or $5,000 to even move. So we're excited about it. And Sam is busy these days, huh, Sam?
I guess. Sounds like a great program. I love the name too. It's,
The wrap.
kind of welcoming. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is a good thing. And I'm also trying to get the word out, Carol, about the survey. I put that link on our website, the Housing Authorities, just today. So, but I did notice that it's not on the town's website.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's a miss or I can't find it. Because I was looking.
No, I don't, just before this meeting, there's a housing production plan page, and I don't even think it was on that. I have to double check because I
Yeah,
was.
it's
looking.
not, because I'm looking right
You're
now.
looking, then I will, I'll email, Noah Harper, the gentleman, great consultant who's in charge.
Right.
So on the
Yeah,
town.
they should put that on the town website. And the only reason I know about it is because of the Housing Authority. We have Karen DeJoy represents the Housing Authority on
Right,
that
she's on
committee.
it, yeah.
And she, was reached out to me and asked me to try to promote it with the tenants and make it available, which we're gonna do, so.
That's great.
But that's my quick spiel on the Housing Trust.
Housing trust,
questions?
thank you. It's great news.
And I apologize for being late. I'm very sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. You're usually not, though.
I'm always trying to squeeze in a trip to the gym between work and here, and it's
Mhm.
tight.
Okay, any questions for either Carol or Maureen about housing that they talked about? Okay, the next item is the age-friendly action plan update, which Karen has started to work on. So Karen, are you there? Oh, you're on mute if you're there.
Did we lose Karen? She was having a.
Well, she signed on she signed out, she was on here with 2 squares at one point.
Right, and she was like a little broken.
Here
Oh,
she-
here she
Here
comes.
she is.
Here she is.
She
Can you
broke up
hear
a
us,
few times.
Karen?
I was gonna say, I can hear you all talking about me and see you.
No, we're not talking about.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So we're due for our progress report for the age-friendly Wakefield plan. So I sent everybody out the actual plan. I'm hoping that we can spend more time on this next month. It will give everybody a chance to really read through the plan. The progress report is really, I have to reach out to a lot of the key stakeholders, several of which are sitting here because you were all some of you were on the committee that made the plan 4 years ago or 5 years ago now, I guess. So I'm going to reach out, and I'm meeting with Erin Kokinda next week to talk about it as well, to get input from the town. A lot of it we probably can measure. I'm going to use some of the results that we got from that loneliness survey to fill out part of the town's data. I would love to do a needs assessment, but we haven't done one yet because there have been so many other surveys. We felt like there was some survey fatigue going on. So I
Yeah.
think maybe we target next summer to do our survey, because we'll have to get in there at some point because we keep having more and more surveys. But I do think there was survey fatigue, so we needed to wait for a bit with all the different plans the town has been updating in the past year or two. So I have the information from AARP of what I need to put into the progress report. So next month, I'd like to keep this on the agenda and get more input from everybody of things that you've seen, ideas you may have, so we can start drafting the progress report and then see if there's anything from this group that you want to add or see as a potential goal that isn't in there now that we'd like to add in there.
Karen, I sent out, remember the spreadsheet that Christine and you worked on a couple of years ago, or December 12, 14, 22, remember? Was in the, so I don't know if would it be helpful to put to frame our thoughts around what's here on the spreadsheet? Or give us a little more structure to what you're asking.
I think that's what I want to do more next month, is really have everybody had read the plan and then
Okay,
sit down and talk about it, relook at our spreadsheet that we made,
okay,
gosh,
okay,
like a year or two ago now. And then
okay,
the progress report is due in March.
in
So
March,
this
okay.
was like the jumping off point for me is, hey, let's get the plan, everybody read the plan, and then next month spend more time talking about going through the plan. I didn't want to try and go through it today when you only got it yesterday. And then I'll have had some time too to talk to some of the other departments in town to see if they have any input or where we are, and if we want to convene an age-friendly meeting to talk about it before I finalize the progress report.
That's great. It would be wonderful if the master plan came out before that, wherever that is, stuck somewhere.
Master plan, the production plan, the age.
Well, the master
production
plan, though,
plan.
the master plan goes back like 2 years now,
Maybe we're a little fatigued about plans and
Right.
surveys.
I think that's what it is. There have been so many plans that I'm like, we can't do another one right now. There's been so much that I think that's part of why everybody's confused, because we have the MBTA overlay plan at the same time as the housing production plan, at the same time as the master plan, at the same time as other
The
plans.
loneliness survey, and what do we do with that? Yeah, it's, yeah. But I think there may be some things in the, that are in the master plan when it's finally produced, though, that would fit in very well with our age-friendly plan updates, because the town is committed on some level to what's in the master plan, so.
Yeah, and I think that will be helpful to reference. Like I've seen when I read through it, there is a lot of stuff that we have done or we're still working on, even with the bike lanes, for example, that was something they considered our age-friendly plan. So I think it's done a lot of what it needs to as people are now consulting with, they're wanting to have a member of the COA sitting on these planning boards and consulting out. So I do believe that in that aspect, it's been successful in really incorporating the age-friendly mindset
Yeah,
to
yeah.
developing plans for Wakefield. Just by even listening to our meeting tonight, right, that both Carol and Maureen are sitting on boards on our behalf. When they did the open space planning one, I sat on that one. So we are being considered as key stakeholders when they're making these plans. So I think that's a big win.
Well, and you've got more intergener, I mean, the kid that comes in for for the tech help and the senior, the room to write group that does the seniors, doing seniors when they do that writing, and the snow angels and maybe leaf angels eventually, which is good too. That's because that's part of the plan, is more intergenerational stuff, so.
Yeah, and I will reach out. I'm going to check and see how Stoneham goes this year as far as their Snow Angels goes, because they actually just they put a recruiting announcement out on Facebook in general for all ages. So like adults could sign up to be Snow
Yeah,
Angels.
yeah,
So that's something we could look at for next year, I think, if we don't have a ton of success with the students. It's tricky because the students are busy. They have after school activities, they have sports, they have a lot of different things. So they have jobs. So it can be challenging to find students who can commit to the whole season. The leaves may be easier because you could commit to maybe 2 times in the season to do it. Snow, like you're committing from, November till March to be around.
And when it snows, and that's unpredictable when you're going to be needed, yeah.
And we do try and match as well so that they don't have to drive. So it's a student in the same neighborhood. So those are the bigger challenges with Snow Angels, is we're not going to have a kid drive from, I'm not my Wakefield names of places, but like from up by the lake to down by Melrose. We're not going to say, oh, drive 5 miles to come and shovel if it's in the blizzard. So those are the big challenges for matching once we do get the student volunteers. So we potentially could reach out next year and broaden the net of who we want to recruit to do more community, and we could put that not intergenerational of all generations, not just students and seniors, but all ages helping out.
I think that's a great idea, because I bet there's people that would do it if they had a structured way to do it.
I think so. And if we remain at just 4 students, I might try and dive into that this year. I think we have 16 people on the list who wanted a Snow Angel last I checked. So I'm cautiously optimistic we'll get some more students, but if not, then maybe I'll look into that this year, because I hate to say no to 12 people.
And one of the things I was thinking, like in our neighborhood, there's, I don't know, 20 snow blowers going at one time, and a lot of people, not children, but adults will snow blow other people's driveways. And if there's a way to make that happen with all ages, where someone agrees, I will take care of my neighbor's driveway in the winter, because snow blowing is so much easier. But it's again to the waiver and some of those other things, but be interesting to hear how Stoneham has had success with that.
And I'm curious to see if some of that happens organically once you involve
It
adults.
does.
Like I know, like we would just do my neighbors who was senior without having to sign up for a program. So I'm wondering if that, and when we are taking calls from people who are actually fielding that and saying, is there somebody who does your driveway, or is there somebody that helps you? Because that's when sometimes you'll have like, oh, well, I just didn't really want to bother my son because he's so busy. So we know, and we'll tell people this isn't going to stop you from getting a Snow Angel, but we do need to know, is there somebody who really has absolutely nobody who's going to help them that we need to be super concerned about for emergency egress? And we put that in the newsletter this year, which I think has helped in that we didn't have as many calls this year as we have in the past. And I think I've shared in the past, we've had some negative experiences for some of the students who have volunteered, because they go at the end of the storm to shovel and the driveway is already plowed, or you go, and that happened to me as a Snow Angel. So we're hoping to really narrow it down. Like we want to do this service. It's a really valuable service, but who really needs this service? versus just wants like a second door done from their driveway.
The past 2 winters, we, knock on wood, have not really even had that much snow, only on a couple of occasions, so.
It was like 3 inches. It was a magic number. We kept getting 3 inches because you had to make the decision if we were going to deploy the snow angels or not. And it started as 4 and then it compacted down. So it was like a fun little, like, are we going to go or not go? So anyways,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but I'll listen to Stoneham and see how it works out for them with adults and see.
Okay.
My house
Alright, so
smells
if-
so bad from fires right now. I could use some snow around here, but I won't put that into the universe.
You're getting you still have smoke. I mean, I can smell it sometimes, but I'm in Greenwood and it seems to have dissipated a bit over here.
Yeah, tonight it's ramped right back up.
Is that?
Yeah.
Where are you, Julie? What part of Wakefield?
I think it's called Dolbear. I'm over by Four Corners.
Okay, got it.
Since
There's a
Susan brought
really
up
bad
ice cream earlier, I'm by Meltharms.
I
No,
know,
yeah,
yeah.
of course.
There's a really bad accident on 128. So that is what it smelled like tires.
Oh.
So it was down to one lane when I was coming home. So I have a feeling that was actually what you might have been smelling because it was bad.
It is
Ooh.
bad, and it did smell a little mechanical now that you say that.
On
Anyways,
top of the fires. Yeah, the fires are awful. So sad.
But
Mm.
can I ask one more curiosity question of Karen, and I may have missed it? Is there education going on about the Medicare prescription thing where you can sign up to have your $2,000 spread over time? Because I just got something today in the mail from Blue Cross for my prescription plan, and it said you need to sign up now, and there was just a paper form, and I thought, boy, it was kind of confusing.
Well,
She did talk about that at our last presentation. It hasn't
Yeah.
been specifically titled that one, but she did talk about it. And our
About
shine
it, okay.
counselor, and we're down to one shine counselor right now, and she's been very busy. And she's pitched in and done seeing some people with extra appointments, and Mystic Valley's stepping into. So we're unfortunately having to refer a lot of people to Mystic Valley right now, but our shine counselor is staying really busy and she's fitting people in that have emergencies. But yeah, so I guess that didn't really answer directly the question, but she did address it at her last presentation, but it
Yeah,
wasn't
great,
specifically
because
titled
it's
that
such
way.
a great benefit for people who, don't want to pay $2,000 in January, and you can spread it out over time.
yeah, I'm a shine counselor, so
Yeah.
we're sort of not exactly on the fence about it, but it really depends. But you should talk to Blue Cross Blue Shield about it because it's not an evenly thing. It's not that they're going to take your $2,000 and spread it over 12 months. It's going to, there's going to be different levels at different times.
Yeah, I'm good with it
Yeah.
because I'd rather just pay my $2,000 and be done with it, but they also did
But
it.
not people can. A lot of people can't.
Right, exactly, but they did a really nice job in the letter of giving examples, and they did illustrate, to your point, Susan, that it's not like spreading $2,000 over 12
Yeah,
months. They gave
yeah.
examples of how it would be spread out, and that it wasn't appropriate for people who don't have a lot of medications, right?
Right,
Aren't
right,
paying a
yeah.
lot. I mean, I have medicine that's $100,000 a year, so for me, it's like a wonderful thing. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody was on track with it.
Just, some of you may not know that next year, 2025, the maximum out of pocket for drug costs for anybody on a Medicare drug plan is the $2,000 that's being referenced. So that's out of pocket for actual drug costs. Not the premium on the insurance, but so that's a godsend for so many people. It's still a lot of money though, and to come up with it all at once, if people have expensive drugs in the January or February, it's a real hardship. People can't do that, so that's what the spreading it out. And there's no finance charge. You're not financing it. It's just setting it up to be paid in installments over the course of the year. So it's a good change. So, okay. Anything, no matters not anticipated? Sherry?
Yes, question. Are we having artist drop-in? This has been like kicking around for a couple of months.
Part of the issue has always been space because we don't have our upstairs done. I thought we had talked about January for the starting date.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna do it in January after the new year because I didn't see, it didn't make sense to me because it's not being advertised to start it in December, especially just before the holiday between the two. So you're saying in January, we can start the artist drop-in then?
Yeah, that's what you'd put on your flyer your draft flyer that you made. So that's what
I just didn't get any reaction back, so I wasn't sure.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of leaving that as your baby.
Okay,
Here, so I'm happy to
Okay.
advertise that one. It's part of it with not being able to start earlier is honestly space. Like, I mean, for example, having to move our funeral, the West Side Social Club very graciously gave us their space to be
Yes.
able to host that. We can't wait to get upstairs because we are constantly
mm-hmm,
juggling. And Tuesdays we have double and triple bookings that we're due. The health department helped me out as well because we had a bereavement support group and a diabetes workshop that both were more popular than they thought we were going to be. So the space that we had that we were going to divide and have them share didn't work out. So the health department allowed me to use their conference room for our bereavement support group. So it's a big struggle over here with juggling everything to move it around. So we're happy to host it. And I was going to use your flyer for January. In November,
Okay.
honestly, too, we had zero space in the newsletter to fit anything extra than what we already had going on.
So there will be information in the December newsletter so people will know for January?
Yes, we'll put that in the December newsletter.
Great, okay.
Wait a
And-
minute, I thought you said there wouldn't be a December newsletter. I'm a little confused.
There's a December newsletter. It's not mailed.
Oh, it's not mailed. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
It's online and it's
Okay.
at the senior center, the
Okay.
library and town hall.
okay.
And the flyer can be posted in the senior center as well, which is good.
Yeah, and I can give it to Jen and Jen can make a poster for us to put in the kiosk.
I'm gonna
So
get
we
in
can-
touch with the Council on the Arts and see if they have any suggestions on other ways to do an outreach. And if you'd like, I'll also get in touch with Jen McDonald and make it so that the whole town hears about it.
Yeah, I can send it to Jen or you can send it to Jen. That's great.
Do you want me to
Because then
send
she can
just
it
send
out.
the flyer to Jen? It's
Yeah,
not,
that'd be perfect. Thanks,
it's
Sherry.
not the right size. I can redo the sizing so it's the right size for the digital displays, because right now it's not the right size.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do it like we do all of our programming here is we try and advertise all of the program going on so that people know all the different things. But if you send that to Jen, that would be a big help. Thank you.
And my other comment is, and this ties right into intergenerational. This year again, I am the chair of the Martin Luther King, Coretta Scott King big annual event that we have at Galvin. It's January 20th, Monday, January 20th. And I've been in touch with the youth council. And I also sent to all of you, I asked you to put on your thinking caps, and the youth council really would like to come up with an intergenerational service project for Martin Luther King. So if I'm going to be, I hope, be able to go to the youth council meeting, but please think about the kinds of things maybe we would like the kids to help us. It's a one-day project. It might be something at the center. You might just, I mean, what ends up happening is we invite people in and they do things like, I'll give you an example of last year. Last year, the Boys and Girls Club in their art space wanted to create a Story night all across their art space. And so we had, I don't know, a couple of dozen volunteers from 8 years old to 75 years old come in and in the morning paint the underpainting of blue so that the kids then could stencil on all the Starry Night scrolling. And it was just absolutely beautiful. And we just spent a morning doing it. And that's, that was a service project that benefited the children of town. And I was thinking this year, I would like to have a service project that maybe benefits the Council on Aging and McCarthy Center. And since we're going through this big, really amazing expansion upstairs, maybe there's something we can do to brighten up the lower levels that already exist. Or any kind of project at all you think that might be of use. It's a one-day thing, like a morning, that would be helpful to the participants at the senior center. So, and the kids want to be involved. They were really excited and they said they were trying to come up with more intergenerational projects. They love doing the tree thing and they want to do more.
That's great.
Yeah,
So
no, thanks. for that message.
When would the project actually take place?
it
On
usually
January?
takes place on a Saturday in January.
But it doesn't have to be January 20th, that's a Monday.
No. January
Okay.
20th is the morning program.
Yeah, okay,
And that's the program. And the other thing we do with that program is we give awards, and we give awards to people in our community who have provided great service to the community. So
Mhm.
I've also sent out all over the place. I don't know if all of you've seen it, but I sent out the call for applications for nominations, and it's quite the honor. It's because it means the whole town is honoring you for everything you've done for the town. And it has to it could be a community group, it could be an individual, it could be a person of any age, it can even be a young person who does extraordinary service for the community of Wakefield. So,
Where are those applications, Sherry? Where can I get one?
well, they're on the Human Rights Commission's website,
Okay,
but what I'll do is I'll resend it to all of you.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll resend the service app.
Well, sort of along those lines, as we move into adjournment, Karen, I just want to say that, it just, it's so inspiring and so overwhelming to hear and see and watch all that goes on at the center with only three of you. It's just amazing. It's really, thank you on behalf of the town, but it seems like you have a staff of 20, but you don't. You only have three. Oh, thank you. And congratulations for another successful couple of months. It's inspiring, and the town's lucky to have it all. Lucky to have you, lucky to have it all. So,
It's kind of fun. I did a podcast with Representative Lipper Garabedian on Friday, and so it's part of it preparing the questions she gave me. She wanted to know like the different programs, and then the next question was the different services. So when I was preparing, I was writing everything down. I'm like, wow, we really do a lot. Like you don't think about it because you're just in it, and then when you list them, you're like, oh wow, we do that. We do this. So it's fun.
yeah,
We
well,
all love
yeah,
what we
but
do.
don't,
I'm sorry,
don't,
I'm having a hard time thinking of something for people to come in and do. I got your email, and I've been thinking about it because the upstairs will be all done, and I'm like, oh, I don't really know because there's not anything to paint. So I'll keep thinking about it. If people have ideas, we're open for them. But the creative minds of the four of us here at the senior center, including Beth when she comes in the afternoon,
yeah, Beth, that's true. There's
we
Beth.
have yet to come up with something that we think would be a good thing for them to do, not for lack of trying, but maybe the rest of you have more creative brains than we do. But we have been unsuccessful with thinking of a good service project, but we'll keep
And the
trying.
service project would not just be the students. We open it up to anyone in town who would like to
Yeah,
participate. That's why we had that wide range of ages last year, all of us in our smocks painting. And we had
And
a
I
lot of
think in
fun.
January, we're still going to be like, the stage is going to be compacted with all of my stuff for the upstairs. And we're a little bit disheveled over here right now with the whole upstairs and the downstairs right now.
Well, if the project doesn't have, it's supposed to be a January type thing, because that's the month but it can be later than that. We can, as long as we tie it together with the purpose of it, which is to honor the work and the memory of the kings through service.
right. Okay. Anything else before I get a motion to adjourn? No? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn, 7:44?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Maureen,
second.
Julie second. Anybody want to stay? All in favor?
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you all. Having a wonderful Thanksgiving. And in
you.
spite of everything, we do have bright spots in our lives, and this is one of them, so I'm thankful for that. And have a good night.
Thank you.